We've got hometown pride at Monjay's IGA discount in Sulphur. Some of our weekly specials include fresh ground beef, 98 cents a pound, Citrus Hill orange juice, 64 ounces, $1.29. Seneca apple juice, 12 ounces, 89 cents. Green Giant corn on the cob, 6-ear package, 79 cents. And TV biscuits, 5 for $1. These prices are good through April 4th. Be picky, shop Monjay's IGA.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Maury County News. We did have our special meeting this morning at the Maury County Courthouse with the commissioners. We also had Fred Collins, the DA from Ardmore, and our local district attorney, Pat Versteeg. The meeting did get called to order finally about 10:15 this morning. We had all three commissioners present, Rocky Hughes, the chairman, and also District 1 Council Commissioner Billy Frank Lance, and District 3 Chester Gibbs. We had a courthouse full of people, like I say, they was there for the meeting. It got kicked off about 10:15. They went into the executive session just almost immediately. On the agenda, it was discussion and possible action of felony charges and ouster petition against Maury County Court Clerk Tommy Thompson in accordance with the District Attorney's Office. They read that, they discussed the previous minutes just a little bit and decided to read and approve those on their next regular meeting, which will be Monday. Then the chairperson, Rocky Hughes, suggested that they go into the executive session at that time. They cleared out the meeting room of all of the visitors and press. At that point, they did go into the executive session, closed the doors, and then for about an hour and 45 minutes, they did stay in the executive session. They got out about noon, come out of the executive session just about noon. At that time, Billy Frank Lance, the commissioner from District 1, had a prepared statement he did read. He read that to the audience, and there was no action taken on that one. And then Rocky Hughes did make another motion that was seconded and voted on. We've got the entire proceedings on tape, folks, so at this time we'd like to just play the portion of when they come out of the executive session.
Bill Lance? Chester Gibbs?
Yes.
Rocky Hughes?
Yes.
Chester Gibbs?
Yes.
Rocky Hughes?
Yes.
Bill Lance?
Here. We've discussed the pros and cons of this procedure and all, and this time I'd like to have a motion from someone with their feelings on it.
I come in here today with two separate statements. One suggesting for, one suggesting not. After talking in executive session with the Board of Commissioners and advisement by Mr. Collins, I have a statement that I will read and be prepared to go with on this situation. After a great amount of time and consideration of the circumstances involved in this unfortunate situation, and along with the advice and recommendations from District Attorney Fred Collins, and along with that of Clifton Scott, State Auditor and Inspector, I have weighed very carefully all aspects involving the ouster of County Clerk Tommy Thompson. I feel that it is my duty as County Commissioner to make my decisions based in the best interest of Maury County as a whole. Consideration must be given as to where the responsibility falls if Ms. Thompson is allowed to remain in office pending a trial by the courts. It is my understanding the Board of Commissioners could possibly be held responsible if and should some financial loss occur during this period of time. It is our duty as a Board of County Commissioners to ensure that the best interest of the taxpayers of Maury County, as well as Ms. Thompson's, is guarded to the best effort possible. Therefore, regrettably, with no prejudice towards anyone, I feel it is my duty to make in the form of a motion the decision to proceed and approve with ouster proceedings against Maury County Court Clerk Tommy Thompson in the form that she be suspended temporarily with pay by law, as I understand it, pending the outcome of her trial. After the outcome of a fair and impartial trial and a verdict by the court, if found innocent, she is to be immediately reinstated. If found guilty, permanent ouster will be the result. I also ask of this board that this motion be written in the form of a resolution and signed by the Board of County Commissioners of Maury County. Do I have a second on that motion?
Well, if anybody wants a second, I listened to what we had said, and without an explanation from Tommy herself and all, I can see where it can possibly be some wrongdoing, but maybe not enough for this. And if we had a jury trial today and I was on the jury of my heard, quite possibly I would find her not guilty. And with this in mind, I'd like to have a motion to not to have any action toward ouster procedure this time. I have a motion to this. To not
Yeah, I'd like to
ask.
second that motion.
The motion's been made by myself, Rocky Hughes, to not taking no action right now towards ouster procedure, and seconded by Chester Gibbs. We call for a vote.
Chester Gibbs,
Yes.
Rocky Hughes,
Yes.
and Bill Lance.
No.
Folks, after Rocky made that motion and Chester Gibbs approved it, they did go ahead and take a vote. They voted yes, yes, and Billy Frank voted no. They made no further discussion there with any of the commissioners or the district attorneys, and Rocky Hughes did adjourn the meeting, so there's where it stands at this time, and that happened just minutes ago over to County Courthouse. Folks, we had a council meeting here in Sulphur last month. They did vote to buy the fire department some new equipment. Carl Hickman, the fire chief here in Sulphur, got that equipment in and asked us to come down and get some shots of it. We did, got a real good interview with Carl, and we'll be showing you that right after these commercial messages.
Have you been to Mayo's yet to see the new party goods? Mayo's at 1010 West 2nd Street in Sulphur keeps a fine line of party goods in both a full spectrum of solid color assemblies and special party goods for special occasions such as birthday parties for children and adults, baby showers, weddings, and anniversaries. Be sure to shop Mayo's first for our design of Sports Time, Over the Hill, and the Brontosaurus Bash, Sesame Street, and Bunnies and Bears. These are just a few of our new party designs at Mayo's in Sulphur. Your car breaks down, you need a part, you need it fast. Chances are that we have it at the Automotive, your green light auto store in Sulphur. We've dealt with our customers' emergencies for 30 years since we first opened our store on Veneta Street in 1958. Whether you need a part fast, a new accessory for your car or truck, or a great gift idea for a car or truck owner, we're the place to look. The Automotive, your green light auto store, driving down prices for you. When you want to give the very best, come to Billy's Gift Tree in Davis. Billy's Gift Tree has a gift for everyone. For men, choose from Prince Gardner leather goods or Roman engravable jewelry and Spidell identity bracelets. For women, choose from glassware, cubic zirconia earrings and pendants. For the bride-to-be, choose from Noritake China, Frankoma pottery, and Oneida stainless. When you need a gift, come to Billy's Gift Tree, the hallmark of Maury County. Service means everything at Salter Oil Company. We've been working with you since 1966 to keep your cars and trucks in top working order. We're here to find the right tires, batteries, oil, and gas to meet the needs of you and your vehicle. Whether you need oil by the quart or by the drum, we've got the supplies to handle it. Great quality products like Mobil, Remington, Kerr-McGee, and SafeMart. Service with a smile is not a thing of the past at Salter Oil Company in Davis.
Folks, we did get a real good interview with Carl and a demonstration on how this new equipment works. I'd like to show it all to you if we got time, so let's start it now, and if we don't have time, we could show you the rest of it Monday. But the way this does, Carl has to have a certain amount of this equipment on each truck and in his car, and that's what he did get voted on last council meeting. So let's watch that tape now. Carl, before we get into the purpose that we're down visiting with you today here at the Sulphur Fire Department, there was some talk the other day about some additional equipment from the Oklahoma City Fire Departments, but you and I visited here earlier about that big fire and those deaths they had up there. There is no equipment that those two men could have had on that would have saved their lives, is there?
Oklahoma City's we wear the same equipment that they wear, more or less, and that's the best on the market right now. Now, we use a material that they call Nomex, which is a flame-resistant type material, and it's the best they've come up with thus far, but they tell me that they're working on some new material and trying to come up with some stuff that will even better protect the firefighters. But right now, it's here in Sulphur, we have the best that's available.
Good. Carl, if you will, tell us what happened in that house fire that did cause those two lives.
Well, they had it's my understanding that they had a flashover effect, which basically means that everything in the structure lights up on them. Everything burst into flames simultaneously, all together, and once that happens, there's not a whole lot that you can do. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
Is there an explosion involved with that?
With a flashover, it can be, everything bursts into flames so quickly and together that it almost seems like an explosion. I've talked to some of the guys up there, but I really don't know all the details on that particular fire, but flashover is things that it's a fire phenomena that many firefighters have faced and experienced, and in this particular incident, it was just a tragedy.
You say one of the first things you guys do when you hit a house fire is ventilate it, and that's chop a hole in the roof so the smoke and heat will start going out the top. That house looked like it had already ventilated, didn't it, when those men went in there?
The area, part of the house had ventilated through the roof. It had already burned through the roof. However, it's just like an underwater stream or anything like that. There's pockets that are created within that structure, and these pockets may not have been ventilated, and then when they get air, well, it lights up on them.
Nice, then. Well, now, this apparatus that you're going to demonstrate now is one that the council just approved for you to purchase here at the last council meeting. These men were wearing these suits, weren't they, these air tanks?
Yes. By state law, anytime you enter a burning structure to fight fire, you have to have these things on. And we say state law, and it is a state law. However, anyone would be a fool to go in a house without one of these things on, because that's the only thing. You have to understand that in a house fire, temperatures can be anywhere from 1,000 degrees up, and one breath of this superheated air and these toxic gases will literally burn your lungs, just sear them over, and so we have to wear these things.
Okay, well, if you will, Carl, come and demonstrate how that you get into that thing and what it looks like after you do get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to put your this coat and your hat on first, Carl?
Yes. When we enter a structure, when we put these things on, that's almost the final thing that we do before we enter a structure. And I don't have my pants and boots on, but if I were to enter a burning building, I would have those on also, and my gloves and all that. But for this demonstration, I'm only going to use my coat and helmet.
Okay, good. That coat looks like it weighs quite a bit, too. How many pounds does that weigh, Carl?
The coat, it'll probably weigh 15, 20 pounds. And the time that we get fully suited and ready to enter a building, a firefighter adds about 100 pounds to his weight. Time he gets his coat and pants, his helmet, all that, and then gets his
his tools that he may take in, such as an axe or hose line or whatever. He gets this stuff on. This unit here will weigh about 30 pounds, and this is a newer type unit. This is aluminum and fiberglass wrapped cylinder. The old cylinders are steel, and they'll weigh about 10 pounds heavier, so they'll weigh anywhere from 35 to 50 pounds. And time you get all that on, especially in the summertime, you can tell that it doesn't take long to exhaust a firefighter.
Yeah, it gets awful hot. Carl, now you was telling me that the jacket that you're wearing right now is the type that the Oklahoma City firemen had on, and this is the best that you can buy at this time?
That is correct. The city purchased the gear that we have right now about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and it's the best on the market. And we feel like, and the city feels like, that they have the attitude that they want to do everything that they can to protect the firefighters, and that's the attitude that we've taken, and it's really paid off for us.
Well, we've got to. There's no way about it. We've got to be able to protect you guys that are putting your lives on the line. I noticed that the jacket Carl's wearing does have some leather over the shoulders. That's probably where he carries his fire hose and keep it from wearing out up there. And then there's leather also on the pockets. And then that yellow stuff there, that's aluminum. That shines at night. I've seen that work before, but this is an apparatus that the city council did approve. They bought 2 brand new ones, and these are lifesavers when the firemen do have to go inside of a burning structure, and they do that. And in fact, the Oklahoma City the fire department up there, when those 3 guys got hurt up there and 2 of them lost their lives, that's what they were doing. They thought that the house had not been cleared of people, and they were going in there trying to see if there was anybody left in that burning structure that they could save, and that's when they did. 2 of them lost their lives in that one. That helmet he's putting on now is also to help the heat and the fire protect his head. And then this shield, we have that shield there that comes down over their face, and that'll protect them from any flying debris. In fact, we had a fireman that was injured here last year, and there was a piece of lint or something come down behind that shield and hit him in the eye, damaged it a little bit, but he's okay now. Carl, about how long does it take an individual to put that on when you get to the fire?
BJ, we train these guys to put these things on. We want to have them on in less than 60 seconds.
Okay, I doubt if the people could hear that. Carl said they have to have these on with less than 60 seconds, and they train for that. So that's pretty fast with all that equipment. Carl tells us that they have 8 of these. He carries this one in the back of his car, so if he gets to a burning structure, he can don this equipment he's got on right now and enter it immediately to save anybody that might be trapped in the fire. And then by the time the fire truck gets there, they'll have additional aids that the other firemen can don theirs and give Carl backup. So that's, Carl, isn't that about how it works? When you get to a fire, you're usually there first. You get your equipment out and go in and make sure there's no people in the burning structure?
Well, actually, BJ, when we pull into a fire, if it's in town, we always run 2 trucks. And it's one truck's top priority for rescue and ventilation, this type of stuff. The second truck, it's his priority to get water. He's a water supply truck. So when we pull up there, there's many things. A fire officer such as myself, when we pull up there, we have so many decisions that we have to make, and we do what we call a size up. And simply stated, all a size up is to look at the fire, where it's at, what we have involved, if there's any lives that we have maybe inside the structure, electricity problems, natural gas, propane, all that good stuff. Make a survey of the house, see how many lines we need laid, how much water we need, what nozzles we need, where to put them, where to ventilate, all this stuff. And we do that in about 4 or 5 seconds. And once we start making the decisions, we start laying our lines, whatever, and anytime that as soon as firemen get there, they've already got their coats and stuff with them, they simply go to the truck. We got 12 of these, BJ, and we try to carry at least 4 to a truck, and that gives us, we always work in teams, and we work, that gives us 2 teams off of each truck, and put these things on, enter the building, go to the top of the building to ventilate it, whatever needs to be done, and they put these things on, and that way, even though they may not go inside, if they're needed inside, if we have a firefighter go down or they need some more help, they're already there, ready to go. All they have to do is pick up a hose line and take it in.
But when you initially get to the location then, Carl, one of your truck's mission is to check to see if there's anybody in danger in the structure. Do you wait until you've got another partner to go in with you? You don't enter it by yourself?
No. We will never send a firefighter in by itself. Now, we may send a team of 3 in rather than a team of 2, especially a big building. But always send at least 2. We always work in teams, and it's one of those deals. Usually, the first truck in will pull the hose line off and attack it with the water that he's carrying on his truck. And if there's any lives involved in the structure or whatever, then he'll start initiating procedures to take care of that. The second truck in, depending on the size of the fire, but by that time, the officer in charge has already made his size up before anything's ever done. And by that time, the second truck in, even though he's right behind the first truck, he already knows usually whether or not he's going to have to lay a line. If he does, then he'll simply pull his hose and lay a line to a water supply, such as a fire hydrant, and get water back to the fire. And that's the reason that we never want to make a fire with only one unit, because you can sure get yourself in trouble.
Carl, we appreciate you guys and all you're doing, and thank you for this demonstration.
Okay, BJ, thank you.
Folks, we're very fortunate here in Maury County to have such fine fire departments, and we do have Old Davis, Sulphur, the Park. We've also can depend on Hickory and Doherty. They've got fine volunteer fire departments, so we're very fortunate here in Maury County to have good fire departments as we do. Folks, we had a lot going on out the fair barn today. We did have our land judging contest. We had to move it back into the fair barn because the area they had picked was pretty wet and they couldn't get their backhoe in and everything. We've got all of that on tape plus an interview, and we'll show you that right after this commercial message.
Office Supply has everything for your office supply needs. In addition to our office supplies, we have a full line of greeting cards, party goods, and Grunbacher art supplies. Mayo's also has its own printing department, so we can give you specialized service. When it comes to business machines, we have Sharp calculators and Ricoh copiers, the largest copier manufacturer in the world. That's all at Mayo's in Sulphur. If you're looking for great savings, come on into Cooper's, Maury County's general store. From auto parts to light fixtures, duct tape to lawnmowers, we've got what you need to get the job done. So don't just sit there. Get those little honeydews done by coming to Cooper's for expert service and instruction. Cooper's, 207 East Main in Davis, Maury County's general store.
Hi, Maury County. This is Bill Mayo with TV7, and you know it's springtime. It's time to clean up, and we'd like for you to do your part in cleaning up Maury County.
It's time to take pride in our communities, so let's spruce up those business fronts and keep those yards clean. Painting, landscaping, and just fixing up can make a world of difference. So clean up Maury County. It makes good sense.
Folks, they did have to move their land judging into the fair barn on the north side. It was so wet out at Chuck Cooper's land out on Highway 7 and the Burnside Road that they didn't want to get a backhoe in there, and the buses would have to pull back in there. So they just took the soil samples down to the fair barn. They had a real good turnout. Had some 113 4-H and FFA members participate in the land judging contest today. While we were there, folks, we got a little interview with One of the girls that was running the camera for Roy got an interview with the young Japanese student that's living with Tom and Judy Drake over at Davis. I think she said she was going to be going home in about 8 or 9 months, but this young lady did get a short interview with that. I know it's not, you can't hear it exactly like we'd like to, but she was using the speaker on the camera. So let's watch part of that interview at this time.
Laura Fox, and I'm interviewing Kimi Ozawa. She's an exchange student at Davis High School, and she's from Japan. Well, what did you think about America?
It's really fun because people are so nice. It's great. I'm enjoying.
Well, last Wednesday we went to the meat identification. What did you think about that?
It was different, and I think it was neat.
What did you think about the land judging today?
I think it's useful for the future, the farm of America.
Well, what do you think about Davis High School?
I think the people are so nice and people are friendly. I really think that I'm glad to come here.
In America.
I'm staying with Drake that Drake Farm.
Well, how long have you been here?
About 10 months.
When are you going to leave?
About middle of June.
Are you ready to go home?
No.
Folks, they did have a real good time out there, and Roy did want us to thank the Maury County Soil Conservation District and the OSU Extension Service and Nelson Mueller for helping them put that together. And it was a huge success, even though they had to move it back into the Maury County Courthouse fairgrounds out there. It was a lot of fun. All the youngsters seemed to have a real good time. We've got quite a bit of this on tape, folks, and what we'd like to do today is just close our broadcast today with scenes of the land judging contest.
Maury County, Oklahoma's hidden paradise. TV7 is on the air with Maury County Update, brought to you in part by Monjay's IGA and Cooper's in Davis. We'll be back right after this. Cooper's in Davis, Maury County's general store. It's the spot to stop for quality Napa auto parts. We've got the part you need at a price you want. Fast service and helpful assistance makes Cooper's and Napa auto parts #1 with our customers. Houseware, hardware, hunting and camping supplies. Maury County's general store is Cooper's in Davis. We've got hometown pride at Monjay's IGA Discount in Sulphur. Some of our weekly specials include fresh ground beef, 98 cents a pound, Citrus Hill orange juice, 64 ounces, $1.29. Seneca apple juice, 12 ounces, 89 cents. Green Giant corn on the cob, 6-ear package, 79 cents. And TV biscuits, 5 for $1. These prices are good through April 4th. Be picky. Shop Monjay's IGA.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Maury County News. I was called the other day to be invited out to the Artesian Nursing Home for a big pageant, and I did go out there Friday afternoon. Got it there about 2 o'clock, and they were already in progress. We did have a gala affair out there. They had their coronation of the Queen. If you can see these lovely ladies here, it's the Queen candidates that they did have out there. And we also had the 1889 Artesian Queen candidates and escorts. Hester Arnold was escorted by Leo Barnes, and Bessie Sharp was escorted by Lewis Sharp. But as you can see, the ladies were really dressed up, and they looked wonderful. Wayne Sharp was the master of ceremonies. Wayne is with the First Baptist Church, and Ed McGee with the First Baptist Church provided a lot of beautiful music. We got some of this on tape, and we'd like to listen just a little bit of Wayne's presentation.
And very faithful there, but something that is very unique about her is that she plays the piano, and she lost the use of one arm. But I want to tell you, that has not held her back. You are to hear her play with that one hand. She does a marvelous job, and she's always willing to play. And hold that camera. Yes, I'm a minister. Now, we got to keep this clean up. We're on camera here now.
You don't feel about me like one preacher did. I used to play tricks with my kids and do things, just tricky things. And this minister said, now don't shake hands with her because she's a witch.
Uh-oh. Did you think that was funny?
Yeah, I thought that was funny later.
All right, later, okay. The key word is later, okay? Well, I won't call you that. I don't want you running over my toes here, okay?
No.
But anyway, y'all give a big hand for Bessie Sharp. Just as pretty in that white, I tell you what. I think you ought to, I don't know why we can't get them to dress up like this every Thursday when we come from church, and I can't figure that out. Maybe we need to talk to some of these other ladies. They can tell us why. But anyway, Hester is a special lady. A thing that y'all have that she's not involved in. And we're grateful for her life. But one thing that I really treasure about her life is that she really loves the Lord. And I'll tell you, she proves that in her continual Bible study. She is a Bible scholar. As a matter of fact, when we get to sharing together on Thursday mornings, I'm a little bit gun-shy because she brings up things that I have, I'm a little shaky on. She's a lot wiser than I am in many areas of life, but she's a very, very special lady as well. And Hester is one that, she comes up with some of the funniest things herself. And Hester, I want to ask you, just in a minute, can you tell me one of the the funniest things that you think that has ever happened to you in your life?
Well, I'm dumbfounded. I just can't.
Can't think of anything?
No. There's been so many things.
That was plan A.
I don't know.
Okay, plan B. All right, something that may not be funny. You tell me one of the most special times that you've ever had in your life that you really treasure in your heart. A real special time.
Well, some of you might not like it, and some of you will. When I was about 11, we were at the First Baptist Church in Rosedale.
Okay.
And, of course, they wanted to get all the people saved. And we prayed. We done everything that they did in those times.
Folks, they had a wonderful time out there, and we do want to thank Wayne Sharp for the master of ceremonies there. He did an outstanding job. And Bob Walker is the owner and operator of the Artesian Nursing Home. We do appreciate Bob and all he does for those folks out there. We might need to say some special thanks to the pageant directors. That's Pat Atterbury, Betty Vandergriff, Candy Goins, and Patricia Walker. Those ladies done an outstanding job, and as you can see, they were dressed. They looked wonderful, all of them did. Folks, we had a tragic accident over at Davis Saturday night real early, about 3 a.m. 2 young men were killed at the Benson Street Railroad crossing. Darrell Lamberth, 23, and Kenneth Haskin Thomas, 20, were both pronounced dead at the scene. They were traveling east on Benton Street in this Trans Am, and there's 2 trains crossing at that time of the day. One was going south and one was going north. The young men waited on the train that was going south, and after it cleared, they started across the crossing, and the one from the south, traveling around 50 miles an hour, did hit the Trans Am, knocked it several hundred feet over to the northeast of the Benton Street exit crossing there, and threw both the young men out of the vehicles. As you can see, the car was pretty well demolished, but they were both pronounced dead at the scene. Both of their funerals will be held today, one here in Sulphur and the other one over at the Fox Funeral Home in Davis. Folks, we had a good antique car show over at Tomasi's on the weekend. They had a lot of beautiful cars right here in our area. And I know that they had a bunch of them from the Davis area. I noticed some of those, but we will be bringing you all of those antique cars right after this commercial message.
Murray County, Oklahoma's hidden paradise comes alive at the Gift Corner at Monjay's IGA. Open from 10 to 9 daily and 1 to 5 Sunday, the Gift Corner has all kinds of collector items, colognes, stuffed animals, helium balloons, greeting cards, jewelry, just too many items to mention. So come on in and see for yourself. We now have a larger bridal registry and gift section to serve you better. With items arriving daily, you're sure to find what you want at the Gift Corner in Sulphur.
Now, TV7 says what?
Clean up.
All right, TV7 says
Clean up.
clean up. All right, you got to do it real loud.
TV7 says clean up. TV7 says clean up.
It's time to clean up.
Let me clean up. Let me clean up.
Well, Sulphur's got some good cleaner-uppers right there, hadn't he, with those big old brooms. Folks, we did have our Red River Association Antique Car Show Saturday over at Davis, and as you can see here, they've got some beautiful antique cars. A lot of these are from the Ardmore area and on down south, but quite a few of them. In fact, these right here, I think, belong to Bo Meadows from Davis, and Bo works real hard on those cars. That's a lot of times they tell me that these vehicles, when they get them and start trying to rebuild them, they even have to build a fender or something because the parts are just not available for some of these older type vehicles. But as you can see, they did have a lot of beautiful vehicles over at Tomas's on Saturday all day long, and had a lot of people to come by and look at them. And as you can see, it was a beautiful day over there, so looks like everybody had an outstanding time, and we appreciate Tomasi's for putting that on over there. And there's another one coming up here in the near future, and we'll get some information on that and bring it up to you just as soon as we receive it here. We'll pass that on to you. That's inside the store right there. Folks, and we did have a lot of people here this weekend for our Sulphur Invitational Tournament. We had it down here at the Yagy Field right here in Sulphur. Marlowe girls won the invitational tournament with 140. No, the Plainview girls with 140, and then the Marlowe girls come in second with 115. Medill come in third with 90. Sulphur was sixth on that. The Sulphur boys finished on the top of the area team. They had a score of 70. Carl Kennedy won both the shot put and the discus right here in this invitational tournament. Callie Williamson won the 800 and the 1600 run and was third in the 3200 and was the high point scorer in this one. He come in with 30 points individual. Richie Hood pulled a hamstring in the 400 relay, so he didn't get to participate, but he'll be back next time and we'll get on the way with it. But they had a wonderful time and a wonderful crowd, and as you can see there, another beautiful day right here in Murray County for these events on Saturday. I understand from talking to some of the people that was here as our guests said that this is one of the best tracks that they have ever competed on, and Sulphur should certainly be proud of that for that fine track, and nearly all of them would like to come back here for the next tournament because of the fine facilities that we do have right here in Murray County. Folks, we got quite a bit of additional news coming up. We're going to have a little OG&E tour. They left this morning going to Oklahoma City. They'll be up there today doing some things with the OG&E Corporation in Oklahoma City. A bunch of the business people from both Sulphur, Davis loaded the bus this morning. We've got that, plus we can give you an update on the search over at Turner Falls this morning was continued, and they've had some luck, and we'll bring that to you. But first, let's break for this commercial message.
Get your prescriptions filled fast and easy at Larry's Pharmacy, your full-line Health Mart store in Sulphur. Besides prescriptions, Larry's has a full line of Max Factor cosmetics, gifts and souvenirs, greeting cards, Russell Stover candies, hospital supplies with wheelchair, walker, and crutches sales and rentals. Larry's Prescription can fill your every need with name brands or top quality generics. Larry's Pharmacy, your family's Health Mart store.
Around the world in 30 minutes, this is Headline News.
From the company that created CNN, the Headline News Network. Watch your watch, then watch Sports Scores 20 minutes into every half hour.
Time now for Headline Sports. Let's take a look at the scores and the highlights.
Watch the Headline News Network 20 minutes into every half hour for a quick look at the day's sports scores 24 hours a day. Sports Scores on Headline News, always on time.
Come and enjoy the finest dining at the Chickasaw Motor Inn's Artesian Restaurant. Drop by the Artesian for the best breakfast and coffee to get your day going on the right track. Our entrees will make your mouth water, from our famous croissant sandwich to our best ribeye. And don't forget our daily noon buffet with all the trimmings and our Friday night catfish all-you-can-eat special. Why not stop in the Chickasaw Motor Inn's Artesian Restaurant tonight?
Folks, we did have several business people from right here in Murray County depart for Oklahoma City today. Thanks to OG&E, they're going to Oklahoma City to the OG&E plant and view the video production center there. And then they're also going to have a luncheon on the courtesy of the OG&E folks. They should be returning this afternoon about 4 p.m. But as you know, OG&E is getting real involved in video at this time. In fact, they did an article on Sulphur and Davis just last year, and that thing is running all over the United States from what I understand. But it is a very good tool that OG&E is using now, and they've invited all of the folks from Murray County that would like to go up and go through their production center in Oklahoma City. And as you can see, they had a real good crowd this morning. They departed early this morning about 10 o'clock, and they will be returning this afternoon about 4. So we'll try to get with one of those guys when they get back and find out exactly what all they got to do while they were in Oklahoma City. But we appreciate OG&E and all that they're doing for our area. They're really getting really public-minded, and we appreciate all they do for us. Folks, now we can bring you up to date. Over south of Turner Falls, we had some young men walking up in southwest of Turner Falls Sunday afternoon. About 2 o'clock, they come up on some remains. They found a billfold and a .32 caliber revolver there. They got the billfold and went back to Turner Falls, reported it. Deputy Sheriffs Mark Woodell and Harold Carter went back with a couple of young men to try to relocate the site. They looked until late last night and didn't have any luck. They also asked Roy Roundtree, our wildlife ranger, to join in with the search, and also Junior Smith with the Sulphur Police Department joined in. They looked until about dark yesterday afternoon and could not relocate the remains. So this morning with Ed Bristol, Sheriff of Murray County, he got back with Roy Roundtree and some of the deputies, and he's also called in the Oklahoma Highway Patrol aircraft to go back and look for the location of the remains. They did call off the OHP plane, and we found out about 11:30 that they have relocated the remains, and they have called the medical examiner. And as soon as they get back and we'll get a chance to talk to Ed Bristol, the sheriff here in Murray County, we'll visit with Ed and see exactly what he can enlighten us on. But they have relocated the remains southwest of Turner Falls there on Honey Creek. It's real dense. I talked with Junior Smith this morning. Junior tells me that the cedar trees are real heavily in there and the roads are non-existent really. It takes a four-wheel drive type vehicle to get back in there unless you walk. But they have relocated it at about 11:30 this morning. We will find out additional information on that and keep you informed. Folks, we do have our torch run going to be right here in our area, and it's coming up in the near future. We asked Mike Taylor, he is the chairperson of that group, and we asked him to come in and kind of update us on where we stand on the applications that we sent in to be approved to run in this thing and carry the torch, and exactly what's going to take place now. And he did enlighten us on some interesting facts. So let's watch Mike's interview now.
Mike, let me welcome you back to Channel 7.
Glad to be here, B.J.
Mike, we've got a couple of things we need to visit about, and first and foremost, let's talk about our Olympic Festival torch-carrying project that you're involved with. You're the chairperson for Murray County, is that right?
Sure, B.J., but lots of people are helping.
Good. If you will, Connie, bring us up to date. Where is the torch first going to be introduced in the state of Oklahoma?
They'll bring it in up there at Boise City. They'll fly it by a National Guard helicopter from Pikes Peak, Colorado, where they keep the Olympic flame burning in America. And they'll fly that in, ignite it, and the governor will be there and several other dignitaries. And Henry Bellman, he's going to carry it a little ways, he says.
Good.
Start it off for the state, and then it'll be handed to numerous other dignitaries just as it enters Oklahoma. And it'll wind on around. That'll be about June 18th this year when it'll arrive in Oklahoma, and it'll come into Murray County July 1st.
Okay, and it'll be here overnight, won't it, Mike?
It'll stay here overnight. It'll come in the evening of July 1st on a Saturday evening, BJ, which is July 4th weekend this year. So it'll be a big holiday weekend for Murray County, and we'll have that Olympic Festival torch here, flame burning, people carrying that thing. We're going to have a big celebration that Saturday evening at the AG Field there at Sulphur High School, and there'll be some Olympic officials there along with that ceremony, and then we'll put it to bed that night at the Sulphur Fire Station. Old Carl Hickman and his crew will watch it and make sure it's safely kept overnight, and then we'll start it back up Sunday morning, run it on through Sulphur and then through Davis and up through Joy, and finish out Murray County's run Sunday morning.
So it'll go up 77 then out of Davis.
Right.
Okay. Mike, how was Oklahoma fortunate enough to get this event here in the state?
I believe they placed the bid many years ago for this, and they alternated. This Olympic Festival is held 3 years whenever there's not an Olympics being held. And this will be the first year after the Olympics for the Olympic Festival, so we have a chance here in Oklahoma to see people who won Olympic gold medals last year.
Oh,
they'll
great.
be right in our state.
Great, that's wonderful.
Mike, I know they had to adjust the date a little bit. We had the applications sent in, and then names were chosen and sent back to the people, and then they had a certain length of time to get their $25 sent back in. Were there just so many people that they put on their time schedule behind, or what happened?
It really overwhelmed everybody, BJ. The requests were numerous, and as you can imagine, one person may have filled out 10 requests for each county, just wanting a chance, trying to increase their odds. And so the sort-out process was tremendous.
I bet it was.
And they've just now completed all that. The first round has gone through, but as you can imagine, some of those that filled out those forms and applied have moved, have become injured, and for some reason something may come up that prevents them from carrying it on the date specified for them to carry it. And so some of those people that were chosen for some reason or another won't be paying their $25 to get their chance to carry it. So there will be a redraw from those that were left, and we'll go through that again to fill those in. And that process will just continue until finally every slot in the state is filled.
Okay. Mike, now you say the second round. Do we have any dates on that by when a person, if they get notified now, when they have to have it back in? Has dates been set on it?
No, there's been no date set, and I'm not sure that they'll do that since there's really no deadlines to send anything back in right now on those people.
But it's well, I hear you saying it. Then you might still be chosen if you haven't got notification at this point. There's a possibility that you will get one maybe later on.
Right. Let's say of those 100 runners chosen to carry it in Murray County, say 10 of them are going to be on vacation that week or have moved out of state already or out of Murray County, and they don't want to carry it. Well, that'll be 10 more slots that they'll have to fill, so that's a 10% left to fill in Murray County. So there's an opportunity there for some people that have applied.
To still get chosen.
Right.
Okay, Mike, do you have an agenda that we're going to be going by on the first day of July? Do you have something that's going to take it when it gets here in Murray County right on through till it leaves Murray County? Is there an agenda that you're going to be trying to follow?
It's very loose and tentative right now. As you can imagine, that's a ways away still, and there's a lot of things that'll happen here in our community and throughout the state before that weekend gets here, but we've set to work with some initial plans, and what'll actually happen, we're not sure right now, but several things are in the works, and hopefully it'll be a celebration to remember, and everyone will have an opportunity to come out and find out about the Olympic Festival, to see some of the Olympic participants, and see some people in our own community doing some athletic type activities out there in front of us that we may not be aware of the abilities right here at home.
Sure. You know, it looks like the way they're doing this, Mike, carrying it in all 77 counties, there's going to be a lot of Oklahoma folks get to participate in this festival, and that's going to make it great. Now, this will lead up to the big Norman affair, right?
July 21st, which will be a Saturday, that'll be the grand opening ceremonies for the U.S. Olympic Festival in 1989, and that'll be at Owen Field there in Norman. And there'll be a grand ceremony. Tickets are available at Homeland stores throughout the state right now at $20 a head to see this ceremony. And they've mentioned people that they haven't come out with a big public release yet as to everyone that'll be at the program, but tentatively I've been told Bob Hope, Huey Lewis and the News, Whitney Houston, the Rockettes, and the list goes on and on with the big names that'll be here.
That's wonderful. Folks, Mike went on to give us quite a bit of additional information there, and we're going to be showing you that probably tomorrow. And I want to remind you folks in Davis, too, that the election's tomorrow now for Ward 2. Incumbent Kenneth Chronister is running against Ronald Lee Reisner, and that the polls will open at 7 a.m. over there and close at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Precinct 5 is the Chamber of Commerce. Precinct 6 is the First Baptist Church, and Precinct 7 will be the Senior Citizen Center. So get out and vote tomorrow, folks. 7 a.m. is when they open. That's about all the time we got for today. Channel 7 News. I'm B.J. Fields. Thanks for watching.